All right, let's dive right in. Today we're going to talk about a way to learn that's, well, it's pretty amazing. It's a method that can take something super complex and make it feel engaging, memorable, and honestly, pretty simple.
I know. Sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? But what if I told you the secret to finally mastering a tough skill was hidden inside a classic pirate adventure? That's the powerful case our source material makes today.
Okay, so first, let's just talk about something we've all struggled with. You know that feeling, the challenge of trying to make new, complicated stuff actually stick in your brain?
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're facing some big, complex subject, could be a new language, a science concept, even just new software at work. And it just feels like this mountain of facts and rules. It's just overwhelming. So how do you even begin to make sense of it all?
Well, the solution our source points to is actually one of the oldest, most human things we do, telling stories. Yep, that's right, using a good story as a legit, powerful tool for learning.
And this quote from the source just nails it. The story is short, simple, and perfect for language learning. See, the whole idea is, instead of cracking open a dense textbook or memorizing a long list of rules, you just start with a story, something that's easy to get into. It immediately makes a huge, complex topic feel so much more approachable.
And there's actually a name for this. It's called narrative-based learning, and it makes so much sense when you think about it. Our brains are literally wired for stories. When you wrap information up in a narrative, with characters, a little conflict, some real emotion, it just becomes so much easier to remember than just a dry list of facts.
Okay, so that's theory. But how does this actually work in the real world? Well, our source gives us this fantastic case study, and it uses a simplified version of a story you probably know, the classic adventure Treasure Island.
So right away, we're dropped smack into the middle of a scene. We're at the Admiral Benbow Inn, and we meet this young kid, Jim Hawkins. Notice what's happening here. The lesson doesn't start with a bunch of grammar rules. Nope, it starts with atmosphere, with a character. And just like that, you're pulled in.
And then you get a line like this. He told Jim to watch for a sailor with one leg. Boom, instant suspense. You're immediately asking questions, right? Who's this one-legged sailor? Why is this old pirate, Billy Bones, so terrified of him? You see, we're not just learning words on a page anymore. We're actually invested in a mystery.
And the story just keeps unfolding. You've got this mysterious stranger showing up with a secret map. Then they set off on this grand voyage. Then, and this is a great part, Jim overhears the cook, the one and only Long John Silver, plotting a mutiny. It all builds to this big fight for the treasure. It's this classic story structure that just keeps you on the edge of your seat, always wanting to know what happens next. And here's the really crucial part. The story isn't just fluff, it's the delivery system for the information. All that tension, those characters you remember like Long John Silver, the high stakes, that's what forces our brains to pay attention. It's the emotional hook that makes everything stick.
But getting you hooked is only part one of this method. This is where it gets really clever. The source shows how you pair that engaging story with a super direct lesson. So you've got the story on one side. That's for engagement, context, emotion. And then you've got the actual lesson on the other. And that's for reinforcement, repetition, and just making things crystal clear.
All right, let's look at that second part. This is where we start deconstructing the adventure and pull out the actual stuff we want to learn.
And the process itself is just beautiful in its simplicity. It's a three-step dance. Step 1, you grab a keyword or phrase right from the story. Step 2, you give it a simple, clear definition. And step 3, you use it in a totally new sentence to make sure it really sinks in. Let's look at a few examples straight from the source.
Okay, let's take the word pale. Now remember in the story when Billy Bones got the black spot and he turned very pale? We already have an emotional connection to that word. It means fear. So the lesson comes in, gives us that simple definition. When a person's skin looks very white, and boom, it's locked in.
Here's a great one, because it's not just a single word, it's a whole phrase. His heart simply gave out. The story uses it right after Billy collapses from shock. The lesson then takes that idiom, which could be confusing, and breaks it down for us, tying it directly back to that super intense moment we just read about.
And here's one more that's absolutely central to the whole plot. Take over the ship. We overheard Long John Silver saying this, right? It's his whole plan. So this phrase isn't just some random vocabulary word we're memorizing. It's tied to the main conflict, the main drama of the story, which makes it, you guessed it, way easier to remember.
So we've seen what the method is and how it works. But the big question is, why? Why is this combo of a great story and direct instruction so darn effective? Well, let's get into the science of it. It really comes down to these 4 things. First, you've got context. The story gives these new words a home, a place to live. Then there's emotion. All the drama and excitement in the story acts like a kind of mental superglue. It just makes the information stick. Of course, there's repetition. Hearing a word in the story and then seeing it again in the lesson, that just reinforces everything. And finally, simplicity. The whole method just breaks down these big ideas into bite-sized, manageable chunks.
And this right here is the biggest takeaway of all. Yeah, our example was about learning English, but this isn't just about learning a language. This is a blueprint. It's a formula you could use for anything. Imagine teaching history this way, or explaining a complicated business plan, or breaking down a scientific theory. The core principles are exactly the same.
So, I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. What if you could learn that complex skill you've been putting off, but it was taught as a great story? What if learning to code was a cyberpunk thriller, or understanding economics was like watching a family drama unfold? The possibilities here are just endless. So the next time you're facing that mountain of new information, just ask yourself one question. What's the story here? Thanks so much for watching.